Ayo, what is up, everybody? Coach Chad here, the CEO of the Next Level Coaching Academy. And I'll keep this introduction brief because I got a killer podcast slash YouTube video for you guys today. I actually just recorded a video for our company on AI. And what I talked about is our internal philosophy on how we're going to approach AI. And I also talked about the 6 things that our staff members have to do to make sure that they still have a job inside of NLCA despite the integration of AI. And I think this is a really powerful message for you guys to hear, because this is the same philosophy that I believe that business owners should have with approaching this new adaptation that we're going to have to make, which is integrating AI inside of our companies. And the 6 things that I spoke about on to our team about how the 6 things they have to do to maintain their job are the same 6 things that you guys are going to have to do to make sure that you maintain your businesses. So I think this is a very, very powerful message, and I wanted to share with you guys. So go enjoy. And PS, if you haven't left a review yet, if you haven't subscribed, what the heck are you doing? Go ahead and hit that button and then watch the video. I'll chat with you guys soon. Peace. What up, squad? Guess who's back again? All right. I'll stop. I'll save the embarrassment, but it is good to be back. Cabo is great. We're super excited for the wedding and what's to come. Hopefully I got a little bit of color. I know I'm like the whitest person ever, but it looks like I got a little bit of color. But anyways, let's dive in. All right. What I want to talk about today is I want to talk about NLCA's approach and philosophy towards what's probably going to be one of the biggest disruptions in the marketplace since literally the Industrial Revolution, and that is AI, artificial intelligence. All right. As you know, we are always extremely proactive. We are always trying to be ahead of the curve, and we're always trying to be the best. So our philosophy is going to align with that. But I want to talk very specifically about how we're going to approach this from a mindset perspective. And also, I want to talk directly about how this could impact your role, and more importantly, what you need to focus on to set yourself up for success as we integrate AI into NLCA. So let's dive in. This talk is going to be called Adapt or Die. All right. And that will be the theme this week. Harsh, but true. All right. Let's get into it. So as much as humans try to shape their life into what's most comfortable, what is fair, everyone could be successful, right? Over the past, I would say 5 to 10 years, humans have really tried to lean into comfort, right? What is going to be most comfortable for me? What decision in my life is going to be most comfortable for me? What is most fair? Everybody gets a participation trophy, right? And everyone could be successful, right? These are all, I would say, things that have been introduced into our society over the past 5 years. But the cold, hard facts are this: there are winners in life and there are losers in life. All right. As much as we try to shape life into this perfect little pretty box of comfort and everybody's successful and sunshine and rainbows, it's not the reality. The reality of life is there are winners and there are losers. All right. And you really have 4 categories of people. All right. You have 4 categories of people. You have losers, and those people lack ambition. They don't really try to be successful. And they're just, they just don't care. At the end of the day, they just don't care. All right. Nobody in this group is that category of individual. You would not be in this company if you were. All right. Then you have category number 2. Category number 2 are people trying to win. All right. So people who are on the up and up, they're doing all the right things. They're trying to win. They haven't won yet. So they haven't classified themselves as winners or in the winner category, but they're actively trying. All right. Then you got category number 3. Category number 3 is people who win. All right. So these are people who have achieved success, in quote unquote, they have won. All right. Or they are winning. Nobody ever wins, right? Because there's ebbs and flows, but they are currently winning. All right. Then you have category number 4. And this is somebody who's somebody or organizations that are a class of their own. All right, these are perennial winners, right? When I think of perennial winners, I think of Michael Jordan, I think of LeBron James, I think of Kobe Bryant, I think of Tom Brady, right? I think of Starbucks, I think of Amazon, I think of the companies that perennially win over and over and over again. All right, so that's class 4. All right, the biggest difference between the individuals who win, which is class 3, and in class 4, which is the perennial winners. So the biggest difference between people who win and people who are perennial winners is perennial winners are fluid. All right, perennial winners, they know how to adapt with the times. All right, and the people who just win for a period of time. All right, I'm going to give some examples here in a minute, but the biggest difference between the people who are perennial winners and the people who win is the perennial winners are fluid. All right, they don't put themselves in a box. They don't say, well, this is how we do things around here, right? They are fluid with the times and they are willing to adapt and change. Okay, so in business, every about 5 to 20 years, there's a huge shift in the marketplace, something that disrupts everything. All right, over the past 10 to 20 years, it was Web 2. Web 2 is the internet, right? So, the big .com, the big .com push that was the first thing on the scene, right? The internet was created. Every single business tried to get a URL that was custom to them, .com. This is when websites were big. Then introduced Web 3, and Web 3 was social media, right? Then everything kind of moved away from websites and it became, it became more personality based with Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and social media. And we're still very active and probably still in the very beginning stages of social media. All right. There were companies that were winning. They were winning companies that failed to adapt and lost over the past 10 to 20 years because they weren't fluid, right? And this is tying in that difference between winning companies and perennial winners. All right, the winning companies that failed to adapt over the past 10 to 20 years with Web 2 and social media, to give you the 2 biggest examples that are going to stand out, Toys R Us and Blockbuster. All right, Amazon took out Toys R Us because Toys R Us failed to adapt and have an efficient delivery service, right? Or an efficient online service like Amazon, right? On Amazon, we can go on, get the same toys from Toys R Us, and we can have them at our door, sometimes even the very next day or the very same day. Right? With Toys R Us, you had to continue to drive to the store. There was no real online thing. It was inconvenient. Boom, they're out of business. All right, same thing with Blockbuster. Blockbuster failed to adapt to streaming. If Blockbuster did what Netflix did, it wouldn't be Netflix and chill. It would be Blockbuster and chill, because we would be streaming Blockbuster right from our computers or right from our TVs. All right, but no, they failed to adapt. They failed to change. Netflix, I believe actually how Netflix started is they would mail the movies to your mailbox. I can remember that as a kid. I would go and I'd get my Netflix right from the mailbox. And then eventually they moved on to streaming, right? And now we have it right from our phones, our computers, laptops, so on and so forth. All right, these are the companies that are perennial winners. The perennial winners are the ones who are willing to adapt with the times, like Netflix did, right? Netflix, they would ship it to your mailbox. Then they realized that was no longer going to be something that was with the times, and they shifted to streaming, right? Like Amazon. Every single day, they're trying to get you what you need quicker to your door within the very same day, if possible. And Starbucks has also adapted with the times as well, right? There still are physical locations, but now you can pop on your mobile phone, you can order, right? Or you can get it shipped to your door, when previously all you could do was go into the store and have to wait in line and make an order, right? But now that's changed because of the phone and their ability to adapt. Like I said, and like the whole premise of this whole entire video, right now is the next big shift. And that next big shift is going to be AI. It's going to be artificial intelligence, right? Before it was the .com, then it was social media. Now it's going to be social media and artificial intelligence. And this will only continue to progress over time. All right, here's what we're going to do right now. And here's what NLCA is currently doing. Right now, we are in the research and testing phase on how we can use this. All right. So myself and the leadership team are testing out and trying different things with AI to learn and understand how we can integrate this into NLCA. And once we have a better understanding of that, we will start rolling out trainings on how we can use AI with your jobs to make it easier, more efficient, and more productive. All right. The approach that we are taking is we are going to adapt and we are going to get ahead of the curve. All right. We have the act first tenet for a reason. And the act first tenet, what it means, it has many different meanings, but in this context, it's speed wins. And the ability to adapt and be creative is coincided with speed is always going to win. So in this instance, in this time, we have to use the act first tenet now more than ever. All right. And I'm going to just be very blunt and say, if you don't want to be a part of this movement, if you don't want to move quickly, if you don't want to take advantage of this opportunity, then please take 24 hours to think about it. And if you don't want to be a part of this movement, if you don't want to adapt, if you're not open to learning, if you're not open to adjusting, then please just put in your resignation letter and just say, this company is no longer for me, because this is the direction that we are going. All right. We are going to use the act first tenet, and we are going to continue to learn on how we can adapt and integrate AI into the company. And if that's not something that you are open-minded to learn, if that's not something that you're open-minded to make adjustments on, then do yourself a favor and do us a favor and just say, hey, it's been great, but I'm not looking to go into this direction. And that's okay. Like I said, that decision would be better for you and it would be better for us. So I just want to be very blunt in saying that. If this is not the direction that you're trying to go in your career, please let us know. All right, here's what you can expect. All right, so I got two more things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about what you can expect, and then I want to talk about how you personally can be prepared. All right, this video isn't about me, it's about you. All right, I want to prepare you for how you can be prepared for us to integrate AI into the company. All right, so here's what you can expect. So you can expect to have to be adaptable and have to use the act first tenet. You can expect to have to participate in so many words. So if you choose, you know what? Yes, this is still aligned with my vision for my professional career. This is still aligned with my values. I want to learn more about this. I want to adapt. Great. Be ready mentally to be an active participant, because it's going to happen very, very, very quickly. All right. In the next 3 to 5 years, AI is going to be as normal as just having our phones in our hands. All right. I'm going to say that again. In the next 3 to 5 years, AI is going to be as normal as us always having our phones in our hands. It's going to happen very, very quickly. From now to 3 to 5 years, expect it to be quick. So be mentally prepared to have to use the act first tenet. All right, here's how we can prepare you. All right, and here's how you can start. Like I said, we're not talking practically how to use AI yet. This video is more about mentally how to be prepared for us to integrate it into the company. All right, so here are the things that I wrote down for you to be prepared on. All right, and once again, I'm going to be very blunt. The first thing is, I can't guarantee that AI won't replace some jobs. And I don't want to create a false narrative, because it might. I don't want to lie to you guys and say that AI is not going to replace a single job in NLCA, because to be honest, it probably will. All right, it probably will. And if I lied to you and said, don't worry, AI is not going to replace your job, and then 5 years from now it's replacing your job, then I'm the bad guy. And I don't want to create false narratives. I believe in always speaking and being in the truth. And the truth is, I can't guarantee that AI won't replace some jobs. And I don't want to create a false narrative around that. However, everything else I'm about to say is going to prepare you to make sure that you have a spot inside of this company. All right, but here's what I can tell you. All right, what I can tell you is NLCA will and always will believe in people. And here's what I mean by that. As AI continues to progress, the need for human connection and the need for people-to-people interaction is going to continue to grow. And if you can provide value in that avenue, then you will always, always, always have a job inside of this marketplace, whether it's with NLCA or it's with another company that is using AI as well. And just because AI is coming on the scene doesn't mean that my belief is that human interaction is going to be void. If anything, and I've been saying this word integrate throughout the whole entire video, we want to integrate AI with humans. We don't want AI to replace humans, and we don't want humans, and we don't want to not have AI. We want to learn how we can integrate the two. How can we bring AI in and keep the human connection? All right, that's my stance and that's my philosophy. So I just want to make that very, very clear. NLCA will and always will believe in people. Okay. Basically, the next things that I want to talk about is what you have to do to make sure that you still have a role here, even if AI does start to automate some aspects of your role. All right, so there are 6 things that I wrote down that you should be hyper focused on in order to make sure that you are still providing value and still have a very prevalent role inside of NLCA, even if AI does replace some aspects of your role or replaces your role entirely. If you still have these 6 things, there will always be a space for you inside of this company. So let's go through these 6 things. All right, number 1, you provide strategic insight on how the company can grow, increasing profits. So what jobs will become is there will be some daily mundane things that will probably be automated with AI, which means that the human part of being inside of a company is going to come from your thinking, right? What humans have that AI doesn't is we can critically think with our logic and emotions. All right. So if you can critically think on strategic insights that will grow the company, specifically increase company profits and revenue, then you will always have a role inside of this company. All right. So what you should be doing right now is you should be practicing your critical thinking skills, and you should be practicing your strategic insight, specifically making strategic decisions that grow the company. And growing the company means growing company revenue, growing company profits. All right, that's number 1. The second thing that you should be focused on right now is thinking outside the box. All right, AI only does what we tell it to do. All right, if you've ever played with ChatGPT, it will only do what we tell it to do, which means it can't technically think outside of the box, but we can. Right? We can think outside of the box, and we could provide ideas once again to grow the company. All right. So number 2, the second thing that you should be practicing right now is being very creative and thinking of ideas that are outside of the normal realm of what is already being thought of inside of the company that could potentially provide new insight and grow the company. That's number 2. All right. Number 3, learn how you can use AI. All right, so the third thing that you should be doing right now to ensure that you 110% have a job is you should learn how to use AI. All right, you shouldn't shy away from it. AI is not the enemy, and that's not the purpose of this video. Like I said, we're trying to learn how we can integrate AI with the human aspect. So don't think, hey, I'm going to shy away from this thing because it may potentially take jobs in the future. No, if you want to ensure that you have a job, you should learn how to use it and be a master at how to use AI. Because if you understand things about AI that maybe other people in the company don't, then that makes you extremely valuable for the company. All right, so the third thing that you should be doing right now is you should be trying to learn AI, which means you should be downloading different AI softwares, you should be testing different AI softwares and seeing, thinking outside of the box, how you can integrate that inside of NLCA. All right, the fourth thing is, can you critically think? We've kind of already talked about this one, but AI automates things, all right? Which means the whole purpose of AI is if we're automating things, then that allows humans to not have to focus on the mundane aspects of business and think more on the higher level. So I know this is just a different way of saying the same thing because I've already told you that you're going to have to critically think, but the other element of this is you're going to have to think about bigger things in the business. So right now, if you're thinking about more of the mundane activities in the business, how can you spend 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day thinking about higher leverage opportunities, thinking about bigger bigger aspects that are no longer the mundane aspects of the company. So I challenge you to have conversations that are more on the bigger picture things and not the day-to-day things. And how you can do that directly is with speaking with your supervisor, right? So you can speak with your department head on things that they're thinking about, like ask them, hey, what are some of the biggest challenges you're thinking about, and help them think through those bigger level challenges. All right, number 5, the 5th thing that you should be doing right now to ensure that you 110% have a job, even with the introduction of AI, is how can you provide massive value to the clients? And how can you provide a deeper sense of human connection to them as well? I've said this, I'm going to say this again. As AI becomes as normal as having our phone in our hands, human connection is going to be sought after more and more and more and more. All right, so how can you, one, provide more value to the students, which means making them more money? How can you make our students more money? And two, how can you develop a deeper sense of human connection with the student, which is beyond just making them money, that's actually giving a shit about them as a human. So if you could do those 2 things, you will 110% always have a job inside of NLCA. How can I make the students more money? How can I feel more connected to the students? All right, the 6th and final thing that I wrote down here is if you 110% want to make sure that you have a job inside of NLCA, then represent the company values and tenets. Even if your role does get automated out with AI, if you represent what we're trying to build here, we will fight for you, and we will try to find a role that we could put you in, because your values and who you are as a human represent what we are trying to build here. And to me, as you guys know, that is something that is extremely, extremely important to me. All right, here are my parting words for you guys. I don't want to make this video too long, but tying in everything that we've talked about today, there are 2 decisions that you can make right now. You can view this as an opportunity to get better, or you can view this as an opportunity to cower, be scared, and just shy away. All right, what we ignore grows. So if we choose to ignore AI, if we choose to ignore and say, I don't know if this is going to happen, I'm here to tell you right now it's going to happen. And like I said, you have 2 decisions. Decision number 1 is view this as a massive opportunity to level up inside of your professional career and understand this and understand how to integrate and bring this into the company. Or you can say, you know what? This is where the road ends for me, and you can cower up and you can shrink. All right, so your decision is grow or don't grow, and I'll leave it up to you.